All right, so this is 8-4, multiplying special cases. Yesterday we did multiplying polynomials, and our learning objective today is to find the square of a binomial. And let's highlight our vocabulary. Oh, there it is. So square means we are going to raise it to the second power. So that's raising it to the second power. A binomial is from yesterday. That's got two terms in it. And product means multiplication. So we're going to find out what happens when we multiply something that's added together and something that's subtracted from itself. All right, so don't write yet. The second paragraph, I'll highlight what the essential component is. So a binomial is squared when it is multiplied by itself. The square of a binomial is the square of the first term plus twice the product, or 2 times, the two terms plus the square of the last term. This can be expressed as, and this is what I want you to write down, parentheses a plus b, close parentheses squared, equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. All right, so we're going to find what is the simplified form of x plus 5 squared. I'm going to show it to you two different ways. The first way is the way we know, tried and true, and the second way is using our little formula up here. So what is the simplified form of x plus 5 squared? So we're going to take x plus 5 and multiply it by x plus 5. And as you guys learned yesterday, my favorite method of dealing with binomials is by using FOIL. So we're going to do first, x times x is x squared. Outside, x times 5 is 5x. Inside, 5 times x is 5x. And then the last. Sorry, that was outside. We get to the last. 5 times 5 is 25. Then you go ahead and you combine like terms, and you get x squared plus 10x plus 25. Now the whole reason we are doing this section is supposedly to make your life easier. The only way that this is going to work to make your life easier is if we practice using the formula. All right, so we start out with x plus 5 squared. In this scenario, if I'm here, x is my a. 5 is my b. So now I'm going to say that this is equal to a squared, so that's x squared, plus 2 times a times b plus b squared. So now I'm going to simplify it. X squared. 2 times 5 is 10. X doesn't have anybody to hang out with. And 5 squared is 25. If you look, samesies, samesies, samesies. Same answer, different process. We are trying to take the hard work out of FOIL. All right, so there is something completely brand new that I have never seen before, but it landed smack dab in the middle of this multiplying special cases formula. So I decided, probably an important thing, if I haven't seen it, and if it's my job to know math, that I would explain it to y'all. So right here, I actually want you to write this down. Using mental math, you can square a binomial to find the square of a number. And instead of, I had to type this up, and I didn't want to pull up. So what is 39 squared? So you don't have to write that 39 characters here. You can write it as 39 squared. So what I would normally do, if I had a calculator, I'd put this in my calculator. However, it says to use mental math. So we must do it in our brains without a calculator. Now, my version of mental math would be, I would write 39, and I would write the times symbol, and I would write 39 right underneath, and I would go ballistic at it, times, 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 get it down to a number. But that is not using mental math. So instead, we're going to use this binomial process to do it. And here's the reasoning. Since 39 is close to 40, and I can square 40 mentally, because what is 4 times 4? 16. And then you add 2 zeros, one from the first 40 and one to the second 40, so that's 1600. So you say 39 squared is equal to 40 minus 1 squared, so you guys would write that as 40 minus 1 squared, and then we're going to use this rule. So if my A is 40 and my B is -1, then I can say A squared, which is 40 squared, plus 2 times A times B plus B squared. So because we can do 40 squared in our head, that's 1600. 2 times 40 is 80. 80 times -1 is -80. -1 times -1 is 1. And then 1600 minus 80 is 1520. 1520 plus 1. And then because my brain is tiny, like a goldfish, I feel like I should check my work. And 39 squared is 1521. Yay! Let's see one more just to make sure we got it. All right, so we are going to split 58 into 50, because we can figure out 5 times 5, and then we add 2 zeros on that, 2500, minus 2. So our A is 50, our B is -2, so we're going to use the formula A squared plus 2 times A times B plus B squared. Here's a question. Why is this not equal to -1 when it comes over here? It's -1 here. Why is it +1 here? Yes, because a negative times a negative is a positive. So anytime you have a negative inside a square, it pops out positive. So this is 2500. 2 times 50 is 100. 100 times Negative 2 is negative 200. Negative 2 times negative 2 is a 4. And then we got 2,500 minus 200 is 2,300. Plus 4 is 2,304. All right. That works for 48. So please change this 58 to 48. Ew, that was almost a tragedy. So 48 is 50 minus 2. Almost a tragedy. Sorry, that's 48, not 58. All right, so the next part of our learning objective, we met the one where we're finding the square of a binomial. Now we're going to focus on the product of a sum and difference. So I want you to highlight, I'll read it and then I'll highlight what I want you guys to write. The product of the sum and the difference of the same two terms produces a pattern that can be expanded algebraically. If I have a plus b times a minus b, you get a squared minus ab plus ab minus b squared. The sum of the two ab terms is 0, and they cancel out. Therefore, and this is what I want you guys to write, the quantity a plus b times the quantity a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. The product is the square of the first term minus the square of the last term. Could you do this the long way? FOIL, write things out. Absolutely. Do it the long way. That's totally fine. You still get the right answer. However, if you get good at this, then you can use the shortcut. Let's see what this looks like for this example problem. Let's do it the long way. And then we'll do it using the formula. So if I were to FOIL this out, I'd have 2x minus 3 and 2x plus 3. We do firsts, 2x times 2x. 2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x squared. Outside, 2x times 3 is 6x. Inside is these guys. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. And then the last, which is negative 3 times positive 3, which is negative 9. Then I want to make sure I combine my like terms, and I get 4x squared minus 9. That's the answer in the way that we know it to be. So let's use the formula and see if we get the same thing. So we need to identify A. A is equal to 2x. We need to identify B. B is equal to 3. Make sure you have a plus and a minus, because you need, the name of this is sum and difference. So we need a sum and we need a difference. All right, so if we know A is 2x and B is 3, let's do the formula. So we got 2x and we're going to square it. And we have a minus sign in between. And then we have B is 3 and we're going to square it. So 2x is squared is 2x times 2x. And that's 4x squared. And 3 squared is 9. This product of sum and difference is all over standardized tests. We take your exit exam. When you take, in 11th grade, you'll have some testing. This is always going to be, it always ends up on testing. Whether or when you go to college and take an entrance exam for math, it's going to be on there. So I don't know why math testers are in love with some difference. They just are. All right, so here's the part that is brand new to me. So it's brand new to me. I can imagine that y'all haven't seen it either. Using mental math, what is 64 times 56? This works for two numbers that are close to each other, because what happens is you take the 64 and 56 and both of them are really close to 60. They're actually 4 units away from 60. Now, this is a little bit of a stretch, but I would be a bad teacher if I asked you to do problems like this. I don't do the lesson on it. So 64 is 60 plus 4, and 56 is 60 minus 4. So in this case, I can use the rule where we go, oh, that's the product of a sum and a difference. So that's 60 squared, which in our case, 6 times 6 is 36. And because I have the 0, I add 2 zeros onto it. And 4 times 4 is 16. So that would be 3,584. Just for fun, let's check that. It is morning time where I'm at, so I want to make sure. Yes, 3,584. All right.